This is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
Here we are. We're live. What's going on, everybody? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook live show. 7 games here on a Wednesday.
Feels like 20.
Feels like 20. I mean, 9 games on FanDuel. If you're over there, you get the full slate for you guys to deal with. A lot of injury news to deal with today. We did kind of predict some of this happening on the preview show. If you tuned in, we did mention maybe Golden State was going to sit some guys, and we actually got the live Curry update while we were recording last night that he himself was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna play or not.
Turned my ankle and I don't want to play.
Yeah. Now we're getting reports, obviously, that Butler and Draymond unlikely to play. You're saying Per Shams was reporting that?
Per Shams and Underdog both.
And Underdog. That. So, and then obviously Al Horford's out. So it's one of the reasons why, if you go look at ownership, which we'll have updated on site shortly after the show, the first 6 players are all in Golden State tonight. So, there's a lot of expectations going on there for that specific matchup as they take on the Miami Heat this evening.
Cordero, Alex Hart is out, by the way.
Yeah.
Just getting that one out of the way too. He has just been ruled out like in the last
hour, right?
20 minutes, 30 minutes, somewhere in there.
So obviously, again, big names, big news there. I mean, how do you even want to go about it? Because before in the preview show, we weren't sure if there was a way to get to Nikola Jokic.
Oh, there's
now there's plenty of, like, we were struggling to find. We were like, Jalen Clark, $3,300. Like, that's really the only value play that we could find. Well, that's not really the case. Again, if you trust the value for tonight, there's all of Golden State, 4 guys, 3 guys under $4,000 that are getting 25 to 50% ownership. Pat Spencer right now is getting 50% ownership there, Grande. So
we got a lot to talk about.
So let's just get into it.
Wait. We can't. Because before we get into it, you need to hit the like button.
You do have to hit the like button.
And you have to subscribe to the channel. We don't have to, but we would appreciate it if we did both.
It's free. It's free to subscribe.
Yeah, it's free. And free to hit the like button as well. Just little click.
It was great hearing all of your favorite players growing up. Some of you must have been watching basketball by candlelight. But that's
listening on their grandparents' radio.
Yeah.
The antenna, there was antennas up in the air.
Didn't have color TV, I don't think, at the time, but that's fine. Appreciate all of you to tuning in and support us each and every day. All ages are welcome. So that's fine. Smack the like button, very easy, says Camden Man.
Smack it. Smack the out of it.
Little Zoolander, hit the computer, smack the like button. Alrighty. So SGA max here up over $10,000. Ball's 94. Mitchell $9,300. Again, like, do we even bother getting here with all the value that there is at the point? Like, there's going to be the ability to leave so much money on the table, go superstars and scrubs. From like an overall ownership perspective, Anthony Edwards is getting ownership tonight, but that game is a 16.5 point spread. He is the cover of the playbook. Like, I'm a fan of Anthony Edwards at that price. I think he can easily go for 50 plus fantasy points in this matchup, even as a 16.5 point favorite. But like Jokic is 20%, which again makes sense.
Yep.
Given sort of all the value that's on this tier, but like, we're talking like mega stars and scrubs tonight, where it's going to be Jokic and then a bunch of 4,500 under players.
The roster construction is, I would say, a little tricky tonight because there are multiple value centers tonight.
Yeah.
And there's Nikola Jokic and there's LP Şengün, right? Like just as and everything in between, but those two spend up specifically plus the value. So it's just dependent on like how you want to, because like Denver, New Orleans is also, we have 3 games on this slate that are 14 plus points.
Yeah.
So of those games, I guess, which do you think could be most competitive? My guess would be Denver, New Orleans, especially if Zion is back and if Sadiq Bey is back. But like, that's not obviously a guarantee.
I was surprised to see that one had the lowest spread, basically, of those.
Well, Aaron Gordon downgrade.
Yeah.
Not to say like Jokic could just do what he wants in any spot ever, but that is, you have New Orleans in New Orleans.
Sure.
OKC blows everybody out, no matter who is in, no matter who is out, and Minnesota's at home, and Washington just lost arguably their best player for
Sure.
the night. So like, I'm not saying any of them are going to stay competitive, but it just depends on your roster construction. Like, just talking point guard in general, it is one of those spots where you might just want to play guys that are in competitive games. Like, SGA hasn't played a fourth quarter in a month. I mean,
Yeah.
As good as he's been, like, you could still get there, but I don't know if, would I rather play Tyrese Maxey? I would, because he's playing 40 minutes a night. Would I rather play Donovan Mitchell? I would, because he has 40-minute upside, and Donovan Mitchell has been incredible. So yeah, I don't have a lot of good to say about getting to a 10-6 SGA. I don't have a lot of good to say about a 94 LaMelo with the minutes currently constructed. I think Maxey's a firmly a good play, and I think Donovan Mitchell is someone that stands out to me. I get the Amen Thompson defense factor here.
Yeah.
But like, at some point, you just look at what Donovan Mitchell's currently doing and like has been doing. The minutes are up, the touches are up, the fantasy production's up. I wrote up today, he's over the last 5 games, he is, 5th in the league in touches, 5th in the league in touch time. He leads the team with 14 potential assists. He's 2nd or 3rd on the team in potential rebounds at almost 12 per game. Yeah. While he's like, hey, I'm also pouring in over nearly 31 points per game this year. So like, instead of maybe going after some of these games that do have 15 plus point spreads, you look at a game like this. It's a similar conversation we had last night. Orlando Golden State was a 1-point spread in the 224.
Yeah, 224 total.
It ends up going 230 plus points. It was the best game on the board, whatever, right? Because that was the best basketball game. That was just high-level basketball being played. That's what we're going to get for Houston and Cleveland, high-level basketball. So I really like Donovan Mitchell tonight. He would probably be my favorite of this tier.
Maxey's obviously just an elite guy in general, right? So and he is also getting around 18%, but it's just again, there's so much value plays, and we're going to talk. I mean, Gabriel asked, Warriors get blown out, who gets the best run? They're so shorthanded today. This is another spot where you're playing like 4 Golden State Warriors in your lineup, right?
Okay, so I was hoping that question would come up about them being shorthanded, because they're shorthanded and people out are 2 different things.
Sure, that's fair.
They have 12 players currently.
Shorthanded from starters perspective?
Yes,
right?
Yes, like down a lot of depth pieces. Correct. Obviously, they're like, but I looked at 11. Sorry. I looked currently with Buddy Hield, questionable. So factoring him in, let's say he's in.
Sure.
That's 11. Pajemski, Moody, Post, Richard, Hield, Gary Payton, Trace Jackson Davis, Pat Spencer, Guy Santos, Jackson Rowe, Alex Tui. Mm-hmm. That is 11 guys. 2 of them haven't played a singular minute this year.
Right.
Jackson Rowe, Alex Tui. Doesn't mean they're not playing tonight.
Sure.
So all I'm saying is, like, there's a lot of factors with Golden State, like a ton to factor in, because will it stay competitive? Can they run with Miami? Miami's expected to have Bam back tonight, fastest pace team in the league. And now you're playing, expected lineup. What I wrote down is Pods, Moody, Post, Richard, and then Hield if he plays, and if not, probably Guy Santos would be the fifth guy I would expect them to start, just because I don't really know what else they would do. I guess they could go Gary Payton. They could go double big, but why would you ever want to do that against Miami, especially if Ware's not starting? So, yeah, I mean, who is the most likely in a blowout? Almost impossible to know. I could tell you the most unlikely is Buddy Hield and Gary Payton.
Sure.
Pajemski probably in that category as well. Those three are probably the most unlikely to get blowout run. But the other 8 guys, there's a world where, like, if it's a blowout, could we see Jackson Rowe and Alex Tui on the floor tonight?
Probably.
I think so. So it's hard to play that game fully, right? It's hard to be like, I'm playing 4 Warriors tonight because there's going to be a blowout. We don't know what 4 Warriors. I would bet that it's not Gary Payton, and Pat Spencer feels like a good bet to be on.
Pat Spencer's currently 50% of the ownership at the moment, at least. So
yeah, he feels pretty safe because the guards, like, he's already played. When you look at the games that Curry missed, Pat Spencer played. Like, he was essentially operating as their backup point guard, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not like Pat Spencer's new to playing. I mean, 12, 16, 23 minutes. He played 16 minutes and 23 minutes in the blowout, Pat Spencer did, right?
Yeah.
In the competitive game against Sacramento that Curry missed, he played 17. Now, it's something I mentioned in the Discord today. Kuminga was in that game, and Al Horford played 26 minutes in that game. So that's also something to factor in. Spencer played the non-Pajemski minutes. He just split time with Pajemski, 31-17, 48 minutes at point guard. That was straightforward. So if you think the game blows out and Pajemski plays 24, well, Steve Kerr has already kind of laid out that blueprint, right? Pat Spencer's going to play the other 24. Like, whatever minutes Pajemski doesn't play, Pat Spencer's going to play. What's your gut feeling, John, that this game blows out or stays competitive?
Probably gets blown out.
Okay.
Do you feel that the Golden State keeps it competitive?
I mean, I just don't know how they're going to run with them. But I don't know.
There's more proven shot makers on one side than the other, especially with the other team getting Bam back.
Like, I'm curious how this new look Heat offense, like, these players on Miami, like, they're like, holy, what is this? Like, there's no ball screens. There's no off the ball screens. Like, I don't know.
Sure.
It's a 10.5 point spread. It's in Miami. It's second leg. A lot of the guys that played last night are not playing. So they typically, like, you should have more fresh legs on Golden State than usual. But, that would mean 4 games of 7 on the DraftKings main slate blowout. That, or potentially blowout. It's a bad feeling. I know we're like everywhere right now, but Golden State kind of put us in this spot.
I mean, they had to, right? Like, it's just, it's difficult to talk about this slate without talking about the chalkiest plays on the slate, right? Like, there's so much potential now for roster construction here. So we talked the mid-range, the top guys. I didn't really have much of the mid-range.
Well, it's Pajemski.
Yeah, it's right. Well, now it's right. It's Pajemski at 6K, but like Murray, Thompson, Westbrook, quickly, Nembhard, Grimes. Like, I didn't really have much interest in that crew. I like Davion. I like Pajemski there. And then it was Reed Shepherd at $4,800. It was the 3 other value guys I was looking at.
Yeah, the Pajemski. I mean, I think staying on Pajemski for a little bit is worth the conversation.
Sure.
It's all going to depend on your feelings of how the game plays out.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the one game without Curry that stayed close, he played 31 minutes and was 1 rebound and 1 assist shy of a triple-double. But he took 10 shots because that's Brandon Pajemski, right? He is not like a high usage player, but he's a very good do it all guy when he is asked to do it all. in the other two games, there was a blowout in Golden State or in the Denver game, but I think Butler played in that one, and I believe he played in the Indiana one as well. And Podziemski just he was fine. Like if this game stays close, Brandon Podziemski is a very good play.
Yeah.
Because he has triple-double upside. We just saw it. I was trying to get the potential assists in that game because he did have 9 assists in that one. So I was just curious on like what it looked like for Podziemski, like kind of team to himself. And Kuminga played in that game. So did I click the wrong game? What was the Indiana game? Was it 11-9?
11-9, yeah.
Okay, I had 11-7. So I don't know how to what's your take on Brandon Podziemski as I look up what his
with the guys off the floor, obviously super small sample size with like everybody off the floor, it was like 1.5 for fantasy points per minute. With just Curry off the floor, it was just under a fantasy point per minute, with like a 20% usage rate. So he wasn't a guy that had a lot of upside that we look for when key players are off the floor, but he is a guy that we've seen can fill up the stat sheet, right? Defensively, he is there. We do expect there to be additional shot attempts for him. We were higher on him at times last season when we thought he was going to take on a bigger role. We know he can be used as a good facilitator when the ball's in his hand. So I think there's potential for him in this fast-paced spot to be more productive than we've seen. I mean, even when the teams are healthy, you've gotten games, a relatively solid production. You mentioned the 11-9 game.
It was 11-5. It was 11-5.
Okay.
11-5. He had the near triple double.
Yeah, 14-9 against Sacramento. So like there's potential there. I don't know if the rebounds are as legit, but like we've seen him put up decent assist numbers in the past when asked to sort of handle the basketball. It's just that he's 6K, right? And there are other value plays. Is he going to go for 50 tonight? Like, what's his ceiling? Because if he's not, then I'd rather play somebody else that's going to go for 30 fantasy points instead at 6K, right? Like, if you use $5,000, I think there'd be more attraction to me. I just don't know what his ceiling is.
He's a good rebounder, for the record. He's a good rebounding guard. He had 14 potential assists. He dominated the ball in that game. He had 11 rebound opportunities. That was second on the team. 14 potential assists, 11 potential rebounds, tied for second on the team.
He converted 9 of the 11 though. So I mean,
like the rebounds. Yeah. Converted 9 of 11. He's a hustle. I mean, that's just because he's a hustle guy, like just straight hustle.
Again, I envision him more as a potentially better facilitator. I understand, for a guard to average 5 rebounds, it's certainly a good number for him there. But what's his ceiling? Is it, we saw the 40 fantasy point game here against Memphis, knocked down 23 actual.
Well, but they're down 4 starters.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. So are you projecting him to lead the team in shots tonight?
No, but I think there's legitimate triple-double upside.
Okay.
He is a good rebounding guard. He is a good playmaker. He dominated the ball in that game. And that game, Jonathan Kuminga played. Sure. There is no Kuminga. Like, it's going to be Moody, post, Will Richard, and insert either Heald or Guy Santos, right? Sure.
Again, I think the assist can be there. I'm asking you, so you think he gets a triple-double, but like...
I don't think he gets a triple-double. I think that's in the range of outcome. Sure. I think a range of outcome for Brandon Podziemski is that he triple-doubles tonight. That obviously means the game stayed close.
Sure.
Because he's not playing in blowout with what this team is if it's not. But if we remember... the offseason comments Brandon Podziemski made said, I want to be better than Steph. I don't want to be Steph Curry. I want to be better than Steph Curry. Hey, Brandon, guess when? Your time is now, bucko.
Yeah.
So I am personally I think on the opposite side as you.
Okay.
I'm just treating this game as if it's going to stay close enough to where Podziemski plays 30 minutes.
Okay.
So that's going to be it, right? People are just going to have to take stances because it's hard to be in the middle of that. right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of hard to be like, well, I think it could stay close for like, no, I mean, there's 4 games with double digit spreads. There has to be stances taken on the slate.
Mm-hmm.
I like Pajemski. The ownership just spiked, by the way. The Pat Spencer ownership has
Tanked.
he's still second, but he's like 2x lower than Pajemski.
Yeah, Buddy Hield now 50%.
Yeah, because like there's pretty good data for Buddy Hield, like over.
Well, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can see Hield going out there and having 25 shots. Like, if this game is going to stay close, it's because Buddy Hield went out and knocked down 6 threes,
But you don't have to max one of those players. Like, you can max 4 Warriors tonight, and Pajemski can be one of them because everyone else is basically so cheap.
Sure. I guess for me, again, it's also just that everybody else is so cheap and he's sitting there at $6K, which is still obviously a fair price, right? For the role that he's going to be in and the matchup that he's in, but it obviously lowers sort of the return. So if he goes for 35 fantasy points tonight, that's still not even 6x, right? Like if he goes for 40, then you're at 7, which is, obviously around the range that we're looking for, but it's a higher mountain for him to climb to pay it off when we've been fairly high on Reed Shepherd. It's obviously a tougher matchup, but Reed Shepherd's been giving us 30 fantasy points at 4.5. If we get 35 at 6, then we're not really paying off what we're looking for necessarily. So like you said, it's all about what you believe in the player. If you think he's going to have a ceiling game tonight, then smash 6K play, no doubt about it. If you think he's going to have an okay night, then there are other guys tonight that are cheaper that I think could give you similar production there.
Sure. And it's all going to depend for me, like where the ownership comes in too. The top 4 owned plays right now are Warriors.
Yeah. And I think it's going to stay that. I think it's going to stay that way, honestly. Like, I think you're just going to see a lot of people jam as many Warriors as they can, especially since there are a couple of these guys that are, 4K and under. The recent update also put Marvin Bagley. We had that question with Tsar earlier. Bagley's now right up there with among the highest rostered plays at $3,100. So you don't necessarily need to go and plug in all of the 3K guys to make it work. Right. So, and as Steve mentions, Hield is also questionable. We'll see if he gets ruled out, then,
get ready to learn Guy Santos, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, it's going to be a bit of a messy slate here today because of all of the value that's on there. There are other good plays, obviously outside of that. As I mentioned, I think Davion on the other side is kind of solid just as a cash game play. We've highlighted a lot of Reed Shepherd, 30 fantasy points in 4 straight games, a high of 36 at 4.8K. So from the minutes have been solid for him. They could be down Jabari. We don't have official. Do you have official Jabari update yet? Not yet. So, people are probably now less inclined, obviously, to play Reed Shepherd given the Warriors news here. Does that make him a better contrarian play for you?
Sure. It's definitely a good tournament play. I wrote up his PRA today on Underdog Fantasy, and the number was ridiculous. But I was looking 17.5. Yeah.
Jeez.
And I was looking at some of the data. So he's shooting 48% from 3, which is obviously ridiculous. The Cavaliers, John, have allowed the 6th highest field goal percentage on 3-point shots this year. And I'm concerned for them that they don't understand what's coming to them with Reed Shepherd tonight, because I don't think he starts in basically any scenario. Like, even if Jabari's out, I think they would just simply go double big and go Adams. But we know Udoka does not play a deep rotation no matter what. Like, we'll probably get one more player, whether that's Jayshawn Tate or Clint Capella, added to the mix. But they're playing 8. Like, that's just what he does. And especially in these higher profile games, Reed Shepherd's minutes, second most minutes he's played all year in the last game. And that was the first game without Tari Eason. So that's not a coincidence. And I'm firmly in on Reed Shepherd as a really good contrarian play tonight. Now that he's at 4%
roster, right? I laughed earlier when we were kind of talking ownership. Like Colin Sexton was getting a ton of ownership love today.
Yes.
That is obviously dissipated a bit there. The pricing on him was still really good. It's a matchup, but Ball's back. Pretty difficult to get there.
I have some thoughts, but we'll
Okay.
do it at shooting. We can do it at shooting guard.
Okay. Is there any other point guards then to discuss here?
Yeah, only other one I wanted to mention is McCollum.
Okay.
And again, like it's just dependent on your belief, right? Dependent on your belief whether a game blows out or not. It's hard to justify that Washington would keep this game close without Alex Sarr because they don't keep games close with Alex Sarr, and he's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Since last year, John, CJ McCollum has a 30% usage with no Alex Sarr, well over a fantasy point per minute. That both like not just like, I mean, that's just a massive sample since like, you know, it just kind of is what it is. Yeah, I don't have a lot for you.
Okay.
He has a 30% usage and he's over a fantasy point per minute. This game is terrible news for them. But if it does stay close, it's because CJ had one of those whiteout, like, don't know where I am moments.
The 40 points he had the other couple games back.
Wait, right? What did I do last night? I scored 36. Oh, okay. I still got it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go on over to shooting guard then again, where a lot of the Warriors we discussed already have dual positional eligibility. And then it's Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is sitting up over 20%. Donnie Mitch is around 15%. I mentioned Edwards is the cover of the playbook today. Again, I understand the 16.5 point spread there is a little daunting. He only played 29 minutes in the blowout against Dallas and had 26 fantasy points. I do think it's worth mentioning that Naz Reid really put that game away at a huge, 23 points in 22 minutes or whatever it was. If Naz Reid doesn't do that, either this game is more competitive or Anthony Edwards is the one that's out there putting up that kind of production in that little amount of time. We've seen him do it this year, 50 fantasy points in 26 minutes against Utah, 37 actual. He's very live to go out there and do those things. And I don't know if McCollum does go out there and shoot the lights out and Keyshawn George goes out there and hits 6 threes tonight and guys like that on that team be competitive, then maybe you get a little extra run out of Anthony Edwards, because $9,100 is definitely too cheap for the type of player and production that Anthony Edwards can give you. I feel the same way about Julius Randle. Julius Randle's too cheap for the type of production we've been getting out of him. It's just that last game, it was a blowout because Naz Reid went nutty. So there's your official Butler and Draymond news out. So maybe we'll get Buddy Hield. We'll find out the Buddy Hield status right now as well, possibly. So I'm fine with either of those two. You mentioned obviously that Mitchell's expected to be in the more competitive game and he's less rostered. So there's the tournament pivot potential there from Anthony Edwards to Mitchell as the top two guys there. Any thoughts on sort of the next crew? Any additional thoughts on Anthony Edwards here?
Not any additional thoughts. Obviously, great spot. He's dominates the ball. One of the league leaders in touch time. He just has the ball in his hands a ton with this team. No Jaden McDaniels. Both he and Julius Randle get massive usage or fantasy point per minute spikes. Randle's actually a little bit higher than Edwards, but yeah, no objection to the top two. We're going to keep saying that about both of them, but no objection to the top two at all.
Hield officially in. Jovic is out tonight for Miami.
Yeah. And Bam in.
Yep, Bam in, yep.
So Hield in.
Yep.
Okay, so my guess would be Pajemski, Moody, Post, Richard, Hield. That would be my guess at the starting five. They have been reluctant to extend Buddy Hield this year. So, but I guess we'll see second leg of a back-to-back if he in fact does get extended. Let's touch on Golden State in a little, because we could just touch on them all at the same time, because they're all like around the same price. We'll just make our way down there.
That works. Next group, Khan was the one I'd look at 65. The price is going up. It is a good matchup against Indiana, obviously. LaMelo is a great passer, great playmaker. There's potential upside for him. Grimes at Philadelphia and even Edgecombe probably to a little bit of an extent, but no Oubre, no Embiid, no Paul George. Both of them are in spots, even with Toronto's defense starting to improve there. Mathurin at 6K. I know someone that you were super high on today. Would you rather Mathurin at 6K or Podziemski at 6K today if you had to pick one?
Don't have to.
If you had to.
Nope, not gonna do it.
I'm making you pick. I'm running the show. Pick one.
Okay. This is very easy for me. If that's the case, it's Benedict Mathurin. And let me tell you why. And I want to whisper it. And I want only people watching this show that have liked the show, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Only they're allowed to listen. Okay? People are sleeping on the Benedict Mathurin return. And I'm gonna walk us through it, okay?
Yep. We'll put it on your show. Let's see it.
Benedict Mathurin returned and we were told by Rick Carlisle that they were going to monitor his minutes. Exact same thing they told us a week prior or 2 weeks prior with Andrew Nembhard, right? Mathurin came into the game in the second quarter with 2 fouls, about 3 minutes left. Immediately picked up his third foul, had to check out of the game, okay? So he lost out on 3 minutes in the first half. Start of the second half, John. Plays 3 minutes. Do you know what happened at the end of that 3-minute stint? Could you guess?
No.
Fourth foul.
Yeah, that happens.
Out of the game because he picks up a fourth foul. Guess what happened when he checked in at the 4-minute mark of the third quarter, John?
Did he pick up his fifth?
Fifth foul in the third quarter. Subs out of the game with a minute left of the third. Starts the fourth quarter. I ask you, hey, John, have you seen what Benedict Mathurin has done? You say no. I say, oh, he's casually gone on a 15-0 run by himself. The Pacers are in this game. And then he loses out on 3 minutes of the fourth quarter because of a blowout. All I'm saying is he played 25 minutes and the injury had nothing to do with it. A little bit to do with it.
Sure.
There is legitimate, if this game can stay competitive and they don't want to continue to lose by 15, he has mid-30s upside at a price tag we will never, ever see again in his current role on this Pacers team, which is a 40% usage rate. That was what he had in this game, 40. There is almost, in my opinion, again, this is for people who have liked the show and subscribed to the channel only, and no one else can listen, possibly the best tournament play on the board at 5%. And I almost don't think it's close if we're going to get the type of role that he's going to play in this spot, especially.
Sure. That's why I almost ask you, because again, you don't have to actually pick. You can play them both, but Podziemski's at 33%. Mathurin's at 5%. They're both $6,000. So,
dude, I don't think it's close in terms of ceiling at all, because Benedict Mathurin could go for 60 tonight, and I would not be surprised.
Is Mathurin worth the 7K on FanDuel, though? DePrince is asking.
Probably. Yeah. Probably.
Obviously, FanDuel also gets the Portland value to include in their player pool.
Yes. The Portland stuff is obviously obviously matters. Like I wrote it up too in the I also wrote up obviously Mathurin's points. I obviously
had to, right? And what was it, like 20.5? It
was 21.5. Yeah, 21.5. This is a team, Charlotte, allowing the 8th most points in the paint. Ben Mathurin averages over 10 drives and the 3rd most free throws per game on drives this year. Like, match made in heaven. Charlotte allows a lot of points in the paint, although Kalkbrenner is a good shot blocker. Allows a lot of points in the paint, and Mathurin just relentlessly attacks. I think it's kind of a dream scenario for him. Just stay out of foul trouble, buddy.
Yeah.
If he's 5%, the ownership is not indicative of the player and based on the role he was having last game because of the foul trouble. It's the industry is too low. I'm going out on my shield with this play tonight, John. Okay. Benedict Mathurin, 6K, best tournament play on the board. Book it.
All right. You said you wanted to save Sexton for shooting guard here. He's $5,400.
Yeah, and we could have just talked. It's not going to be like an overly long conversation, but the numbers do look pretty good. I sent it to you this morning. I was like, no way Colin Sexton's ownership holds up, right? You're
Right.
like, nope, no way. And it didn't. But Trey Mann and Miller out. Man not official, but he's doubtful.
Yeah.
Almost a 26% usage rate for Colin Sexton, over a minute fantasy point per minute. The minutes were pretty good last game, 28. We know LaMelo's kind of been what he's been with the minutes. Like, they obviously are a little bit concerned with extending him with the ankles. So I wouldn't hate it. Do you have to go there? No. We have 3 Golden State plays that we're about to get to that everyone's going to. But if you're looking for an alternative, Colin Sexton's actually not too bad.
Okay. All right, let's get into it. We have Richard here, Healed. And what was the other one that's down here? Richard,
Moody. Well, I guess we skipped over Moody, right? Yeah, Moody. We skipped over Moody, but you could play Spencer here. Moody's shooting guard. You could Gary Payton and Spencer here. They have the 4 guys. Payton's out for me unless he's starting. But even in that role, I would feel a little disgusting getting to Gary Payton. I think they just don't want to play him too much. Will Richard scored 30 real life points in that Sacramento game. I alluded to it, right? He played 34 minutes. He is, the videos prior to the season, Will Richard was popping up on every single one of them. Jimmy Butler, Steve Kerr, like, yo, who is this guy? Like, why is this guy doing what he's doing? When you just remove Jimmy, Steph, Kuminga from the floor, Will Richard's a 1.2 fantasy point per minute player. It's really good. It's a good play. He's second round pick that's most likely going to get blowout run as well. I shouldn't say most likely. It's possible he gets blowout run. Yeah. But we saw what the minutes upside can be in a competitive game. He's already starting too, right? We have that baked into everything. Will Richard's been starting with Steph, Draymond, and co. So, yeah, I think Will Richard is great. I would expect Buddy Hield be the 5th starter. I guess we'll see. Let me ask you.
Sure.
If it's Santos or someone else and Hield's coming off the bench, what is your expectation for minutes for Buddy Hield?
Not much, honestly.
Like, he has to start, in your opinion, do you think?
I feel that way, don't you, a little bit?
Yes, because it just depends on diving into the Alex Tui and Jackson Rowe minutes. It depends on what they want to do there, right?
Yeah.
They don't have like a lot of wing depth if you're not playing those 2 guys, because you have, if you're starting Pods, Moody, Richard, Healed, Peyton, your bench is like Peyton, TJD, Spencer, and G Santos. So I don't know. I would probably need Hield to start to feel really good with him, or at least like to get to the field. The field's getting to him 40% right now. He's not starting.
From a point prop perspective, Moody's currently at 17.5. Okay. Richard 16.5. Pods is 15.5. They don't have a listed line for Buddy.
Doesn't make you feel good, but I think that's because they can assume the other 3 are definitely starting.
Yeah.
I bet you they have a Quentin Post line, would be my guess too.
They do 11.5.
My guess, because that's and they just don't know who the 5th starter is.
Yeah. Moody, Richard, Pods, and Post all have point projections.
My guess would be it's those 4. I've said it already, but it's either Hield or Santos. If Hield plays, he's going to skyrocket in all the props. If it's Santos, Hield's going to fall off a cliff, and it's going to be hard to play like the veteran players when they're clearly punting this game.
Yep. All right. Anything else to shooting guard?
I mean, you could play, I know another like wizard, but you could play Keyshawn. Since last year without Alex Sarr, he's over 1.2 fantasy points per minute.
That's what I'm saying. If he just gets hot, right?
Yes. Yes.
Him and McCollum could keep the game, competitive there. So
yes, they could. In tournaments, All of Washington, probably minus the starting center, is a tournament play.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. All right, small forward. KD at 85. I actually don't mind. I don't mind this.
I agree. Fun game, pretty bad position. And that's why Heald and Moody are getting the ownership they're getting.
Dude, when I wrote out the playbook, I had like 3 small forwards. I'm like, I really don't want to play anybody else here.
Yeah,
like,
it's not a good position. It helps that Moody is here at least.
Agreed. But I do think Durant, again, we haven't played a lot of Kevin Durant this year, one, because we've just been worried about blowouts and minutes and things like that. But like, if the price is just going to kind of keep moving the way it is, he's much cheaper on FanDuel. I think it's like 81 over there. But still, at 85, like, I'm comfortable in this spot paying that. Again, I think RJ Barrett's fine. I think somebody on Toronto is going to have a good day.
Always. Yeah,
always. Would you play Hunter at 6K, or do you just play Moody at 56?
Not with Moody. Not with Moody there. And like another one who, played almost 40 minutes in the game where they all sat, right? Yeah. He's coming off the game the other day where he's a very streaky player, super high ceiling when he scores the basketball. It's just hard to ignore the role that he's going to have tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's just essentially impossible to ignore the role. So yeah, it's an easy click for me for Moody at 56 at a barren position. It's just a barren position.
Sure. Is there anything more to hear then? Obviously, everybody's clicking Moody. Is there another small forward that you're interested in?
Yeah, I think there's a couple names. You can obviously play Buddy Hield here as well, which helps. I think the Denver guys here become a little bit interesting depending on the Aaron Gordon status. Gordon's injury is interesting, John, because they're listing him as injury management and they do not have a back-to-back. So I don't know what that means because he hasn't been listed. But if he sits, Cam Johnson and Peyton Watson are both already starting, but obviously both would get bumps. THJ would get a bump too. I would assume THJ would enter the starting lineup. So I do think that there's some merit to getting the Denver guys. And then I wanted to talk Jalen Clark a little bit. I don't think we need to get to Jalen Clark with the recent news, but there's no McDaniels. I assume the assumption for me is that Jalen Clark is just the easiest, fifth starter that they could plug in and because he's a good defender. That's what he does. He defends. That's why he's on this team. So if you needed a value play, if you're just stars and scrubs, Jalen Clark, that would probably be the other guy.
Okay. Power forward then. Up at the top here, there's Siakam, the Scotty Barnes, Bridges, Randall's 82, Mobley's 8K.
Yeah, this tier is definitely good. I would say it's not as good as it was, I think, last night. But it's you can get to any of them. I think Pascal is a little overpriced, but it's a great matchup. Talking about points in the paint and drives, that's what Pascal does. Scotty has a 60-point ceiling. Bridges has a 60-point ceiling. Randall has 60, 1.6 fantasy points per minute without Jaden McDaniels this year. Love that. Mobley feels like he's having a better, it doesn't feel like he's having as good a year as he's having, but he is. Yeah. So you can play Evan Mobley if you want. No objections really to anyone. I have no I want to play the Minnesota guys. I don't know if it's I don't know how Washington, who can't stay in close games with anybody, stays competitive in this game, but
I'm not sure. I like some of the spots there, but I don't know where the matchups, I guess, lean one way or the other on that. And there's other value on this position we like anyways. So is there a key play here as we work our way down from an ownership perspective that you're kind of cluing in on? Obviously, again, there's more value at center to be had. We like spending up at center. Naz Reid is your highest rostered guy at power forward tonight. Jabari's ruled in. He was getting some ownership earlier. Is there anything for that?
Well, we may like spending up at center. There's a lot of good value centers today too. I don't know if you've seen the Houston Rockets starting lineup.
I have. They went the double big route.
They did go the double big route with Jabari too. They're going the quad big lineup, right? Because they basically have
big line.
the opening night big line. So I do think it is not a very appealing position outside of Naz Reid, truthfully. 5,300, got some blowout run. The minutes have been trending up. The production has been awesome. Welcome back, 6th man of the year, Naz Reid again. Like, it's been just, everything has been good.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something else that you like, you let me know. But
I mean, I mentioned Barlow in the playbook. If he starts and they're down Oubre and George and Embiid, obviously. I know you're anti-Barlow, but
I'm not playing. Yeah, no chance.
Peyton Watson starts $4,600.
Guy Santos.
Yeah.
At 3K. Yeah, I mentioned Watson at small forward too.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Santos, if he starts his 3K, would be a guy, but there's really not much else there. Center. Again, we like the top two guys, Jokic and Şengün, right? Smash plays, plenty of value if you want to get there. Bam's going to have his minutes monitored.
Sure. Okay.
But Bagley's 40% at $3,100.
Should be. It's a, yeah. I mean, he should be. He's been their backup. He's been the definitive backup this year and has been good, and he'll get the first crack. And then Vucevic will likely get a crack. They recalled Will Riley from the G League, so he's available too. I don't think they view him as a center at 6'9", but I do think
is Vuk 3K? Just penny out there.
Yeah, he's dead 3K. Like, obviously super high ceiling guy.
Yeah, oh, dude, fun player when he gets on the floor,
It's just, he is the blowout play. That's the blowout play, because Vucevic is
well, he's gonna get some minutes tonight.
Yes.
He's not gonna play 48. So
no, for sure. I'm just saying if it's a competitive-ish game, what do the minutes play out in a 48-minute split? If they split 48.
I would say 30-20 or something in that range, right? 28, 20, 20, 20.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, probably. I mean, if you told me Vucevic was playing 20 minutes, I would fire him up right now because he's a monster fantasy. I wrote it down. Since the start of last year, almost 500 minutes sample with no Alex Sarr. 26.5% usage, 1.2 fantasy points.
Yeah, he's one of those. I mean, again, there's no CMB tonight. So Mamu's 37. A guy that I like to play a lot of. If he ever gets, the 20+ minutes, he has some huge fantasy point per minute upside. Steven Adams, just lock him in for 10+ rebounds, right? They're going to, at the very least, hit that mark tonight.
Yeah, I wanted to look. So I just looked up. Şengün and Adams have shared the floor for 125 minutes this year. Adams is a 0.9 fantasy point per minute player. He has a 9% usage rate. Şengün's at about 30% usage rate, 1.3 fantasy points per minute. Reed Shepherd gets a monster usage bump when he shares the floor with these two players because he's just always open. Because why wouldn't he be? All the second chances that they're getting, like, are you kidding me? Yeah, this is one of the reasons I'd have a hard time clicking anyone like Mamush Kelishvili, because there's we have the post Trace Jackson Davis pairing.
Yeah,
we have the Bagley $3,100 play and Vucevic looming. We have Steven Adams starting at 3,700.
Yep. No, you definitely don't need to play Mamu, for sure. I was just kind of calling out the fantasy point per minute.
Right. Just the play. Yeah. Just because
he's $700 more expensive, but Vucevic probably has the same role as Mamu tonight in terms of playing time.
Probably similar. Ultimately, Bagley is your best bet of anyone.
Yeah.
If he is starting, we don't know. We haven't gotten the starting lineup yet, but he's $3,100. He's been the backup center.
And a productive player in his career when given opportunity to do so for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, in this, another one since last year, 20% usage, 1.1 fantasy points per minute. Like that's, dude, if Marvin Bagley played 24 minutes tonight at 1.1 fantasy points per minute, you need to have him, right?
yeah,
That's you need to have him. So
27 fantasy points.
yeah, I mean, dude, at 3,100, you're just like, it's hard to like make up that production unless Vucevic also played 24 minutes, and then like Godspeed to all the Marvin Bagley rosters. By the way, I would only play max one of those two players. Like if you're talking about like splits in like Golden State scenario, wouldn't play Jackson Davis and Post together.
Yeah.
In Washington, wouldn't play in a lineup, wouldn't play Bagley and Vucevic together because they're just not going to play. There's just no chance they overlap.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, was there anybody else that we didn't talk about at center? Like, do you like Andre Drummond tonight?
Drummond. Yeah, I was going to say Drummond. Dude, he's just, the minutes are incredible for Andre.
Yeah, we're getting vintage. We're getting Detroit
vintage
Andre Drummond right now.
We are legitimately getting, and it's not getting better. No. No Embiid, no Bona. Like they have both their backup centers dead to right.
He used to be a 10K center for us in DraftKings. Like
you see,
he was right, like or like nine plus.
He
Ks,
was,
right?
he was probably in that.
Because he had like 20 upside. Like he was doing that
every night. Yeah, like every night. Yeah.
So
and
he doesn't move at all anymore. He's older and he has almost no offensive upside outside of.
Whoa! Don't disrespect his 3-point volume.
To be fair, they have him shooting threes because he can't run back and down the court the whole time. So they just got to keep him fresh.
They have him shooting threes because he's not lining them up and knocking them down, Johnny.
I feel like that video of him shooting threes while Detroit was like a decade ago, right? Like, remember that, the offseason video of Drummond shooting threes?
Yeah, I feel like he started the trend, right? Of like non-traditional centers, like videos in the summer shooting threes, and then they never shot them in the game.
Do you think his ability to shoot threes has since improved his free throw percentages too? Because he's knocking those down now. Yeah,
lining them up.
Used to have Hackett Drummond starting in the third quarter of games.
He's shooting 62%. That would probably be the highest of his career. If I had to bet, that would probably be the highest field goal percentage of his career.
Drummond. Let's see. Free throw percentages. It's up there. 62% last year.
Okay.
Yeah, career high.
If I had to bet, it would be a career high.
62.5. He shot 62.2 last year.
Has he already made? I bet you he's already made the most threes in his season too. He already has 7 made. I bet you that's the most.
Yeah, he only averaged 0.13 per game last year.
Okay.
He's shooting 44%.
Dude, he is lining them up, knocking them down, brother.
Most threes he ever hit in a season was 5.
Okay, so he's already eclipsed it. He has 7. Let's go.
Alrighty.
That would legitimately salute Isaiah Jackson. We formerly liked you. I just think it's just harder to get there now, but you can play him. If he doesn't get in foul trouble last game, he might have played 30 minutes.
All right. So if I get a sense of where we're going based on your fervor for some of these guys here.
Well, you need fervor too. You did the playbook that you can find at fantasyalarm.com right now.
It's out there. It's going to be updated, obviously. Basically, what you're reading now is going to matter in a half an hour. So
yeah,
that's the lovely game we play.
Yes, it is.
What am I looking for here? Moody? Where's Moody?
You're looking for Golden State here, John. That's the next answer.
Click the Golden State team.
Yeah, just click the button. We want
Pods,
we want Will Richard. We want Richard. Yeah, for sure.
Where is he?
Guard spot. Yeah.
Okay. Pod's a point guard.
All right. And for the record, like if no one, I don't think anyone's asked us what like max Golden State would be. If you think that this game is competitive, you could easily play 4, possibly 5 Warriors. If you think the game is going to be competitive.
Yeah. What do you do? Is we play Şengün? Do we get to Jokic here? I mean,
We didn't talk we didn't like actually speak Nikola Jokic's name, I don't think.
The
you might have
13.5 point spread to me is like kind of hilarious because if it's gonna be 13 points, like you're gonna get fourth quarter Jokic run at 13 points.
Should, yeah. I mean, if there's no Aaron Gordon, think about the playmaking is already what it is, but like you know my stand. I will never turn down a Nikola Jokic slate ever.
This is kind of where the forward position kind of is.
Yeah, it's Buddy Hield.
Yeah. 65 forward kind of sucks.
Gabriel, we haven't really answered or some of the questions. I know Gabriel, Moses Moody and Buddy Hield are your most likely small forward candidates. John really likes Kevin Durant. I pretty much co-sign that.
I like Durant.
I co-sign tonight. And then the Denver guys are a little bit interesting if Aaron Gordon ends up sitting as well.
Like I'm just in a spot where I have too much money left over. Again.
Yeah. I mean,
8,100 per play here. So
you could play. Well, you just play Jokic here, no? In this lineup, like.
Oh, that's what I did. I did Jokic, Durant.
Because then you have like Santos, who's playing probably off the bench regardless.
Just anyways, you just play Santos anyways.
I mean, dude, they have they don't have able bodies. Like they are just without like. It's 11 if they play Jackson, Rowe, and Tui. And if they don't, then they got a lot of minutes for everyone else to have.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know. I mean, again, you don't have to go with star scrubs as it is here.
Yeah. And also let's just get a core for the folks at home too. Let's just get like
sure. Mathurin. Where is Mathurin?
6K.
Should type his name. And then Bagley. I mean, this is like we're being contrarian here.
Yes.
And we're being mega chalk everywhere else. So,
yes. Which is fine because that's how you that's how you differentiate from the field.
Yeah, the 5% Mathurin play. Well, could be what puts you over the top compared to everybody else.
So. It's up to 8 now.
Okay.
People leaked it that we were talking about him.
All right. So Pods, Mathurin, Moody, Bagley, Richard. There's your chalk with some contrarian play, and we kind of built the lineup for you anyways to give you an example of what it looks like. We got a whole lot of updates coming over at Fantasy Alarm. You can get the All-Pro package right now for 50% off when your first month when you go to fantasyalarm.com/YouTube. Promo code YT50. Again, we'll save you 50% off your first month. It's $19.99 for your first month of All-Pro. It includes all of the Fantasy Alarm All-Pro content, not just NBA, but NFL, NHL, MMA, PGA, all tools, all playbooks, all betting content, lineup generators, projections, you name it. It's all covered under the Fantasy Alarm All-Pro package. And you get that first month for $19.99. It's 50% off when you go to fantasyalarm.com/YouTube. Promo code YT50 to be applied at checkout. You also get premium Discord access where Grandy and I are hanging out. Keith's hanging out throughout the day to get you guys ready for the main slate as well. Good luck tonight. You'll have Grandy and Keith on your preview show for the Thursday slate tonight coming at you. We'll be back tomorrow live at 5. We'll catch you later.